Burnout. Everyone's got it. Corporate slaves, entrepreneurs, even stay at home parents. Yes, I said corporate slaves. Sorry, not sorry, bro. Most people think I just need a vacation. Love that. Such a cute thought. But even if you somehow manage to pull off the impossible, you get your leaves approved, you find somebody to cover for you, and you actually go somewhere, you'll maybe feel better for about 2 days. Then you're back. Except now you're exhausted and miserable at the same time because you keep replaying the trip in your head, thinking, why can't everyday life be like this? Life isn't a Disney movie, folks. Let's move on. The second biggest lie we tell ourselves, or the second strategy, you push through. Look, sometimes you have no choice. Deadlines exist, bills exist. But you and I both know that pushing through doesn't really solve anything. It just accelerates the crash. You're not being strong, you're just borrowing energy from a future version of you who's going to hate you for it. The third lie we all tell ourselves, it's been a long day, bro. I just need to sleep it off. Beautiful. Now, don't get me wrong, sleep is great. But here's the truth that they don't tell you: the feelings you sleep with are the feelings you wake up with, especially as you get older. So, if you go to bed feeling like a burnt out mess, guess what? You wake up as one. You're just more rested. Now, you don't want to get out of bed and you hate yourself for it. Productive. Really. Then there's the personal favorite: too much food, too much alcohol, too much smoking, too much doom scrolling. Pick your poison. The core is always the same: escapism. And you're just numbing yourself out. And the worst part, you already know that. You know that's probably not doing anything for you. How many of us have said, oh yeah, I'll feel better after a glass of wine? No, you just feel different, and different isn't always better. You're not coping, you're just delaying the inevitable. So, what do we do? A lot of successful people out there will tell you, quit your job, follow your passion. Honestly, horrendous advice. Not just because not all of us have that privilege. Responsibilities exist. People depend on us. But here's the deeper reason that nobody really talks about. The moment you try to make profit from your passion, you put so much pressure on yourself that you kill the passion itself. Suddenly, the thing that you loved just becomes another deadline, another performance review, another reason to feel like you're failing. Congrats, you lost your hobby and your sanity. Now, I'm not saying don't invest in your hobbies. Please do. In fact, that's one of the best ways to avoid burnout. Life is meant to be lived fully. Dance, sing, paint, cook, do whatever. Just don't make it a career until you actually master the craft. Sadhguru said it far more eloquently than I ever can. Those who get to do what they love are fortunate, but those who choose to love what they do, they are genius. Let that sink in. Then there are people who will say, just set boundaries, learn to say no. Sounds great on paper. And yes, boundaries are important. But here's the thing nobody tells you: boundaries don't stick if your identity doesn't shift. You can say no today, you can say no tomorrow, but if you still see yourself as the same person you've always been, you'll be back to your old self within a week, asking yourself, how the hell did I let this happen again? That's not a boundary problem, that's an identity problem. And please, please, please don't come at me with self care. Huh? Bubble baths, face masks, candlelit journaling, massages, lovely activities, genuinely. But that's treating the symptom, not the disease. You can't self care your way out of a life you don't want to be living. That's like putting a band aid on a broken leg and then going for a run. Stupid. Maybe even a little bit bored, but mostly just stupid. Here's what burnout actually is, it's not just that feeling of tiredness, it's the feeling of depletion, it's the feeling of having nothing left to give. It's powerlessness over how you get to spend your own time. And it honestly boils down to just one thing, it's living based on what you've been told is important instead of focusing on what's actually important to you. Now, different stages of life, there are different versions of this and could mean different things to different people. Young guns, usually success, money, recognition. Slightly older guns, work life balance, family time, and sanity. And the OG top guns, purpose, fulfillment, and peace. So, what actually helps? Create a life that is aligned with your values, not your parents, not your bosses, and definitely not Instagrams. Things you value, not things you think you should value. There's a difference. Because when you live life that way, burnout doesn't disappear, but it stops running the show. Because even when you're tired doing something that matters to you. And that is sustainable. That is freedom. You're not broken. You're just misaligned with who you really are. So realign slowly and honestly. And for the love of God, laugh once in a while. It helps more than you know.